I've always found the origins of words and how they came about fascinating. Today we'll be looking at 9 Chinese words that are now part of the English language. Due to the historical ties between the West and Southern China from early trade and immigration, many Chinese words in English come from Cantonese. But we're also seeing a rise of Mandarin influence on English as well. So we'll go through both today. First of all, ketchup, America's favorite condiment, actually came from China. As far back as 300 BC, there's been documented use of a pickled fish brine to flavor foods. This fish sauce is called Ketchup in the Amoy dialect. I'm probably butchering this. It was easy to store on long ocean voyages, and that's probably how it made its way around the world. Eventually, it evolved into a tomato-based sauce. The word in Cantonese is Ketchup, which literally translates to tomato sauce. Hear the resemblance? Ketchup, ketchup. In Mandarin, ketchup is 番茄酱, so there's no resemblance at all. In Australia, we just call it tomato sauce. Another food-related word from Chinese is Chao. It comes from the Cantonese verb Chao, which means to stir-fry. Actually, in Mandarin, Chao sounds quite similar as well. Americans started to use Chao as food back in 1856 when Chinese laborers built the California railroads. It's even used as a verb like chow down, as in to eat. Have you ever wondered how a phrase like long time no see, which is grammatically incorrect, became a widely accepted expression? The term can be traced back to the 1900s when the British Navy picked it up through the Chinese people they met. It is either from the phrase 好耐冇見 in Cantonese or 好久不見 in Mandarin, which is translated literally as long time no see. The word kowtow comes from the Cantonese word Koto. In Mandarin, it's Koto. It refers to the act of kneeling and lowering one's head till it touches the ground. It is a sign of respect to the superiors. Here's an interesting story. In 1793, Britain's King George III sent Lord George Macartney to China to negotiate trade agreements. The Chinese asked him to kowtow to the Qianlong Emperor. Lord Macartney refused to do more than bend his knees. He said that was all he was required to do for his own king. Surprise, surprise! Macartney left China without negotiating a trade agreement. After that, critics used the word kowtow when anyone was too submissive to China. Today, the definition is to do what someone else wants you to do, or to obey someone with power in a way that seems weak. You guys probably know this one already, but it's just nice to see that it's officially an English phrase. Add oil was added to the Oxford Dictionary in 2018. 加油, or in Mandarin, 加油, literally translates to add oil. It is used as a word of encouragement to push someone to keep going and not give up. Some believe the phrase came from the Macau Grand Prix in the 1960s. Macau represents the word would cheer on racers to step harder on the gas pedal. 加油, 加油, 加油. Fast forward to today, it's now a widely used term for cheering people on. Hong Kongers like to mix Chinese and English, and add oil was just easier to type in English than in Chinese, so the phrase became popular in English. Now let's look at some Mandarin words that made their way into the English dictionary.
Oh my god, Carmen, how do you know both Mandarin and Cantonese so fluently?
Well, that's because I'm awesome. Nah, it wasn't always like that, which segues to today's sponsor, Rosetta Stone. I was born in Macau, so Cantonese was my mother tongue. I had a concept of Mandarin, but only thought of it as speaking Cantonese with an accent.
對對對，謝謝幫忙，得閒飲茶，齋正。
Huh?
I moved to Australia when I was 6, so my Chinese knowledge was basically at a first grade level. So how did I become fluent? Well, from self-learning. I knew at a young age that being able to read Chinese and speak in both Mandarin and Cantonese would give me an advantage in life. I would grab books and newspapers to try to figure out the characters. When I'm stuck with certain words, I would ask my parents how to pronounce it. I started to find patterns and correlations between words, so it gave me a deeper understanding of what they meant and sound like. Of course, watching TV and listening to music helped too, but without seeing the characters, it was hard for me to understand the true meaning and remember it. I think it's because I learned how to read Chinese characters, and that's how it made it easier for me to learn Mandarin. And that's why Rosetta Stone makes a lot of sense. It is the OG language learning program, and I've always heard good things about it. The way the app teaches you is so similar and natural to how I learned Chinese. You see a character, someone reads it to you, you repeat it, and bonus, there's a picture.
報紙
When you associate a picture with the character and the sound, it's just so much easier to remember. I've been taking daily 10-minute lessons in Japanese. Konnichiwa, watashi no namae wa Carmen desu. Hajime mashite. I love how convenient the app is. Whenever I have a little time, I would open it up and learn a few new phrases. I also checked out the Mandarin lessons and they were great too. Rosetta Stone has a special promotion right now offering lifetime subscription to all their languages. After learning Japanese, I think I might learn Korean next. Some words in these languages sound so close to Chinese. There must be some story behind it as well. That might be an interesting video to do in the future. So check out the link in the description and get unlimited access to the app. You can learn as many languages as you want and keep the full life. Okay, let's look at which English words came from Mandarin. Shih Tzus are a popular dog breed around the world, but they used to be considered pets for nobility back in ancient China. Chinese people refused to sell, trade, or give any away for the longest time. In Chinese, the name is Shih Tzu. In Cantonese, it's Xi Ji Gao. The literal translation is lion dog, a lot more menacing than the cute little toy puppy we have in our minds. Actually, it kind of looks like the little lion cubs in those Chinese lion statues. Did you know a pair of Chinese lion statues usually have a male and a female? The male will be holding a ball and the female will be holding a cub. See if you can spot it next time you see it. Shih Tzu is the Wei Gao's romanization of the Chinese characters Shi Tzu, kind of like how Beijing used to be Peking. Here's another animal-related one. You probably know that paper tiger means a person or thing that has the appearance of strength or power, but is actually weak. It comes from the Chinese phrase 纸老虎,急楼夫. The word in Chinese have been used in classical literature like the 14th century novel Outlaws of the Marsh, 水浒传, 水浒传. Paper tiger first appeared in English in the 19th century, but has been infamously used by Mao to criticize perceived enemies. Brainwash is a word that came into the English language during the Korean War when Chinese communists attempted to indoctrinate foreign POWs. In Mandarin, 洗脑 or Cantonese 洗脑 literally translates to washed brain. This one just goes to show how language can be borrowed and shared in ways you wouldn't expect. Conflict being one of them. To lose face is to be humiliated or to lose respect. The English term was first used back in the 19th century and it came from the Chinese phrase 丢脸. 丢 is to lose and 脸 is face, lose face. In Cantonese, it's 丢嘎 or 鱼. Did you know that the phrase to save face was invented after lose face became English? It's a play on the original phrase because there's no equivalent term in Chinese. Think about it. There's 给脸 or 北面, which is to give face, or 没面子 or 谋面, which is no face, but there's no save face. Maybe it's time to invent a new word in Chinese that came from English that came from Chinese. Meta. Thanks again to Rosetta Stone who sponsored this video. Check out the link in the description for the amazing promotion. Let me know in the comment section down below if you know any other English terms that came from Chinese. And a special shout out to Brother Ng who recommended this topic. For your own shout out, reach out to me with topics you want me to talk about.